I know that when they are putting me to the task to direct this film, that I need to do something a bit different. Back in Indonesia, I'm more known to make sort of violent and dark action films. But with this one, there's a slight adjustment to that. You know, we still get the violence, we still get the crunchy action, but there's a certain, I guess, for the lack of a better word, warmth to it that we apply. This film, we are starting in a point where Hutch is actually somewhat getting back into the action of it all. Like, so he's reliving his life. Like we kind of learned that he's somewhat of a government agent, and now he's sort of like doing all this, I guess, mercenary type of jobs for his handler. We call him the barber, and that's where we start. Like, we are seeing a character in Bob Odenkirk as Hutch. We are seeing a character who's slowly beginning to ponder, hey, am I enjoying this violent sort of like lifestyle too much? Is it getting too much into me that I kind of am forgetting my family, that I am forgetting my wife who's supporting me? So that's the kind of like the sort of primary question in the beginning of the film. This is the difference between my previous films, because we are really walking that thin line between Hutch, the father, and the husband, and slash Hutch, the seasoned sort of like killer agent, you know? And I think that fine balance is what lends to so many sort of almost humorous moments, like which can easily turn violent. That juxtaposition between the adorable father, especially Bob is so good at it, him being a father himself, and suddenly at the switch, he just suddenly turns into this almost like a killing machine. The duckboat fight is definitely the most challenging, I would say, when we are shooting this one. So initially we were thinking of duckboat as in the amphibian boats, but like we can't find that actual vehicle. So we end up thinking, like, what if we just have like a pontoon boat with an actual like a giant rubber ducky on the top of the roof, And Bob loves the idea, so it's almost like a juxtaposition of Hutch Mansell fighting a bunch of goons inside this very goofy looking, like touristy boat, but the fight that happens inside that boat itself. What if our approach here is more like almost kind of like a Jackie Chan film, like there's a certain slapstick quality and a little bit of clumsiness within the choreography, and everybody loves it. They design it, like we execute that within like 2.5 days of just shooting literally in the waters of Winnipeg, in the river of Winnipeg. And yeah, like it's the first time I'm actually shooting something inside the boat, fighting without green screen, so it's all like in real location, and it's fun and dirty, and you'll see something very interesting happen to Hutch later on in that fight. What Bob can do kind of like surpass my expectations, just because he has such a really crazy work ethics, and when he trains, he literally doesn't mess around. He has such a crazy madman discipline when it comes to keeping his body in shape. Like Bob, I think at the time when we were shooting Nobody 2, he was 61, 60, maybe somewhere there. And he realized that, and he just pushes himself to the point where here I am playing somebody with the physique of a man in his late 30s, even. I remember just sitting next to him and I'm chowing down all this sugary set food while he's eating steamed broccoli and carrots. I don't think there is a single time between like us like setting the camera where he's not either doing push-ups or like doing some sort of like weightlifting. So I said, like, Bob, are you sure you don't want like a scene of you in your swimsuit? And it's like, nah. But like actually if he does, like people will see, whoa, Bob Odenkirk got six-pack, and he doesn't even want to show it. So it's cool that he approached the character so much mentally but also physically.